time for Video Waves, brought to you by Northampton Community College.
Hello and welcome to Video Waves. As always, I'm your host, Brian Garrison, and today I'm here with Frank Sinelli. How are you, Frank?
Good, Brian. How are you?
Excellent. Frank is a ghost hunter who goes by the name Dr. Spectre, and today we're going to take an in-depth look at his ghost hunting and find out more about it. So, Frank, why do you hunt ghosts?
You know, it started a long time ago. I was 9 years old, youngest of 5 kids, and at the time it was kind of the cool thing to do for, seances and Ouija board and that kind of thing. So, my older sisters were into that, and I would kind of sit in. And the one night, my sister and her friends were doing a seance. They were trying to contact a local man who had just passed away. So I sat in on this, and I saw his face clear as I'm seeing yours in the mirror. And I had never met the man before, don't know who he was. I was able to describe him right down to his wireframe glasses. So I was kind of hooked after that. It's, okay, well, I wanted more experiences. And, we would mess around with the Ouija board. And there were great television shows like In Search Of with, Leonard Nimoy doing the voiceover on that. So, yeah, that led me down this path.
That's pretty cool. Have you ever had any Patrick Swayze moments?
Yes, but nobody puts baby in the corner.
Actually, I wasn't.
No. Oh, you meant like Ghost.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and it's funny you bring that up. Now I don't see, I'm not a psychic, but I do happen to know a lot of people who are legit psychic mediums. And this is kind of what they say is pretty close to what happens, how, the black figures just kind of come out and grab your soul and put it down. So, yeah, that movie was right on.
Wow. I understand you have some actual paranormal equipment here that you're going to show us. If you wouldn't mind, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, this is just some basic equipment. You can go crazy and, spend a fortune with all kinds of equipment, but this is pretty cheap stuff. This first one is an EMF detector. This one is a Gauss meter, and you can hear it's going off. There's, we have studio lights and cameras and microphones and such. This one is a K2 meter. Okay, and this is the one that you see on the TV with all the ghost hunting shows. This one has like cool flashy lights, and as you move them, they go around, and flashy lights. It's kind of neat. Basic equipment that you need for your own safety is a flashlight. Okay, because you're in dark places. Digital video recorder. This is just the cheaper the better. The higher end audio recorder. I said video. I meant audio. The higher end audio has a lot of filters built in, which will cancel out that background noise. And that's what we're looking for, is that background noise where you can get that EVP, that electronic voice phenomenon. So, and of course, just camera, and if you have a camera that's a low light camera or an infrared camera, always use a tripod, because you're taking these night shots. The aperture of your camera stays open a little bit longer. So any movement is going to create this blur or these streaks. And, people who don't know how to use their equipment will show you these pictures. Oh my God, look at this. This is a ghost. This is ectoplasm. This is an orb. This is whatever. It's like, yeah, no, this is you shaking with your camera. So
nice. So speaking of cameras, I understand we have a short clip coming up that you got for a pilot of a TV show you were working on. Would you mind explaining that as it's playing?
Yeah, sure. Right. This was shot in Fort Mifflin in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And my good friend, great investigator, Cassidy O'Connor, she and I set up the camera against the back wall, and we set up the laser grid. Now, the laser grid will fill the room with all these little green dots. So if anything crosses in front of that, you're able to see the shadow go across, and you can see it moving across right there. This is a great video.
Yeah, so for any skeptics out there, this will surely disprove any of that.
People believe what they want to believe, and they'll look at this and say, well, you could have done it this way and that way and the other. We tried to set it up where you couldn't be fooled by anybody doing this. So,
well, I imagine that was pretty scary then. What would you say is the scariest moment that you've had while ghost hunting?
There's a lot of the jump moments where you're not expecting, if I round the corner and you're there and I'm not expecting it, it's, whoa, you get that startle. So, you have those startle type moments. I remember at Eastern State Penitentiary, we were looking into one of the cells, and there's just this little slit of light coming down, bouncing off the table, and all of a sudden you start seeing this shadow going back and forth, back and forth. Well, the guy I was with investigating calls this out, and the black just rushes the cell door. Now, that was a pretty intense moment at that point. And it stopped right there. It didn't go into the hallway or anything, but yeah, that was kind of wild.
What'd you do after that? Did you?
We tried to get it to happen again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did it work? Were there any other experiences?
We saw the shadow moving back and forth again. We couldn't get it to rush the door again.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you mentioned East Penitentiary. Where else have you been?
Well, let's see. I've been to Fort Mifflin in Philly, Eastern State Penitentiary. I've been to Iron Island Museum in Buffalo, New York. One of the greatest haunted places I've ever been. The people are wonderful there. If you can't get any evidence there, you shouldn't be ghost hunting. The Buffalo Central Terminal, which is just this cool building. It looked kind of, from the outside, looks like the Justice League. Where else? Rolling Hills Lunatic Asylum. Those are always fun, lunatic asylums. Lots of houses, lots of restaurants, businesses, bars, that kind of thing.
Okay,
Yeah.
nice. We're about to wrap it up, but first, I was wondering if we could get some more information on you, like where we can find you, where we can get more information about what you do as Dr. Spectre.
Sure. I write for a number of different places, paranormalpopculture.com. I write for the Taps Para magazine, and that's available in a magazine form or a digital print. So, and then you can just find me on Twitter at Dr. Spectre.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for coming out, Frank.
Hey, it's a pleasure.
Appreciate it. And thank you guys for watching today. You can find more information about Frank in the description below. Until next week, I've been Brian Garrison. This is Frank Sinelli. This has been Video Waves.